What is up, guys? This is Platinum Point, and I'm here to bring you guys another Weiss Schwarz deck profile. As I promised in the previous one, I would be doing my Bang Dream Post Multi-Live deck profile. I hope you guys liked that match that I did with the Konosuba deck list. I wanted to showcase how I would play that deck. I know I lost on that match, but the great thing about recording matches is that you get to learn, you get to see where you misplayed, and I've noticed at least 2 instances, and I'm gonna try and not even technically misplays, but plays that I could do better at. So hopefully I can showcase more of my playtest sessions and show you why I build decks a certain way. This deck is basically blue-yellow with a splash of red. It focuses mainly on these 2 climax combos, which is the Magic of Smiles, which climax combos with 3 cards in the deck, and the Intense Shout, which climax combos with the 3/2 Yukina from the Girls Band Party. I prefer that finisher over the other popular one, which is the 3/2 Mocha, because I prefer burning over just trying to brute force and just deal damage through attacks. So I like to finish the game through burns, and that's kind of my standard playstyle. You can kind of see it through most of my builds. Another thing I kind of like to mention is that I have other builds of Bang Dream coming along, but right now this is just my main one. Hopefully if I can get all the other pieces, I'll show you the other builds that I have. I've been testing with various level 1 climax combos, and right now I'm very much comfortable with the Magic of Smiles one. So without further ado, let's get on to the deck profile, starting off with the characters at the 0 step. We're playing 4 copies of the Rimi Ushigome Starbeat. This is the standard free runner from the trial deck, from the first Bang Dream trial deck. I mainly use this because since I'm running events in the deck, I want to be able to preserve this character and not worry about milling a blank with the mill runners. And this set does have a mill runner, but I prefer the free runner since I'm able to just guarantee that I can save this character and use it as my beat stick for another turn. And I play 4 of it because you want to see it pretty often at turn 1. Next, I play 4 copies of the Magic of Smiles Misaki Okusawa. This card climax combos with the Magic of Smiles climax, and when this comes into play, the climax, it gains the ability, this character gains the ability to select a character on your stage, on your center stage, and it gains the ability on attack. They can pay 1 and you twin drive check. So this allows you to help clean out any stocks that you check for a climax. So let's say in one of your attacks, your earlier attacks, from your current battle step, let's say your first character that you swung with triggers a climax, you can then swing with the character that you gave pay 1 twin drive check to clean it out, and then replace it with more clean stock. So this allows you to help clean out stock, but it also allows you to guarantee your proper triggers for your secondary the second card that climax combos with this card. And it's also a salvage brainstormer, which has the cost of pay 1 rest 2. So this helps you maintain advantage and also have some outlet of salvaging in the deck. Next, we play 3 copies of the Reliable Companion Arisa Ichigaya. So she has 3 abilities. The first one is when she's in your hand, she gains the Bonsai trait, which is important for another level 0. And when another music character comes into play, like let's say you play a Brainstormer after this, you get to look at the top card of your deck and return it back to the original position. It may not look like a really good effect on paper, but it actually does really well if you know when it comes to sequencing your play, because it tells a lot about how it gives you a lot of information on how you should sequence your play. So let's say if you reveal a climax, you immediately know that you can just safely brainstorm and you might hit 1 or 2 and be able to salvage. And if you hit let's say a character with no soul, you can determine how you sequence your play from there. Or if you hit a character with a soul, so this allows you to help you sequence your attack steps and see what you have to do. And this pairs well with your climax combos, because two of your three climax combos will rely on you trigger checking a soul trigger, and with this card allows you to make sure that if you know that you have the soul trigger, you can determine how your attack order is going to occur. Next, we play 2 copies of Happy Halloween Arisa. Her ability is when she comes into play, you can discard a bonsai trait character and then to salvage that irritating girl from the waiting room to your hand. So this allows you to dig for advantage and hand fix. And mainly, your main bonsai traits are either a second copy of this in your hand, the reliable companion Arisa, and the 3/2 Arisa from the first Bang Dream. But the reason why I'm running a low count of bonsai is because you don't need to constantly salvage, but I kind of like to have that option to salvage the event because it's free advantage, man. The event is just free advantage. So, but other than that, I just use this as a beat stick when I don't have the event in waiting room. Next, we play 2 copies of the on-stage Hagumi Kitazawa. When she comes into play, you can put the top card of your deck to clock, discard a card, and search your deck for a yellow climax. So basically, this helps you dig for your climax combo whenever you need it, mainly at the 1-step and at the 3-step. So this helps you gain advantage really quick and help you thin your deck out for what you need. And then lastly, we play 2 copies of the Invincible Hero Kokoro. When she comes into play, you get to pay 1, discard 1, search your deck for a music trait character and add it to your hand. And when she's in the center slot of center stage, it gains an additional soul. So she's a drop searcher that becomes a 2-soul beater at level 0, which is really nice. And then for the 1-step, we play 4 copies of the Magic of Smiles Kokoro, which climax combos with the Magic of Smiles climax. When she declares an attack when this climax is in play, when you trigger check a card with the soul trigger, so that it's this icon on the... Let me show you a better example. So this icon on the upper right hand corner, when you trigger any character with the soul icon, you get to search your deck for another music character and add it to your hand. So this allows you to deck thin without relying on reverse, because I needed something that is a non-interactive plus, and there's only 2 climax combos, actually 3 at the moment. One is extremely expensive, and that is the Kasumi from the first Bang Dream set. The other one is the Yukina combo, and I liked it. I was playing that at first, but the problem with the Yukina combo is you're constantly milling 4, which is you're not going to guarantee getting what you need at the moment. So this is a more precision search, and it pushes for damage at the same time. And it pairs well with the Arisa and the Misaki, because the Misaki will allow you to give one of the Kokoro's twin drive check. So let's say this will allow you to guarantee a search or even a +2 off of the pay 1. And what the Kokoro does is that when you play your the Arisa. When the Arisa is good is because when you play the Kokoro, you get to top check. You look at the top part of your deck, and if it's a soul trigger, that will give you free information for when you slam the climax, because it allows you to get a free search automatically. And if it's not, you have ways to get rid of the blanks. If it's a climax, that's a soul trigger, so that's even better. And then you could dig for another copy, and then you pay it out with the twin drive check to clean out that stock. Another way that I'm able to answer, like get rid of the blanks, if it's a character with no soul trigger, is actually one way. Is that with that irritating girl event. I run 4 copies of it. What it does is when it comes into play, you get to put a music character from your waiting room to your stock and select a character on your board, and it gains the ability on attack, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a music trait, add it to your hand. So this pairs well with the Kokoro because If you know it's a blank, you can put that irritating girl to the Kokoro that you're just gonna swing first. Add the blank with that irritating girl effect, and then trigger check. And if it's a soul trigger, you +2 off of it. So it's a guaranteed plus no matter what. So that's why I wanted that irritating girl in this deck, is to cover all my bases. And it's a really good event because it helps you compress your deck into a state that is good for you. And then that's it for the one step. For the two step, we played one copy of the deck refresh Arisa backup. You basically pay 1 to backup, and then pay an additional 2 to send all the cards in your waiting room to your deck and shuffle it. So that card essentially just helps you when you are in a bad situation climax wise. So it helps you get them back in, and it also helps you clean your stock of any climaxes if you've trigger checked during the previous turn. So that's another benefit. I'm playing one copy of a Bride for 8 Day Saya. This is basically your main backliner at the later game, because this allows you to give a character select a character that's facing one of your finishers, mainly the Yukina. The ability that they can't play events or backups when your character swings. So this allows you to guarantee the Yukina finish, since a lot of people are playing either anti-damage or tap counters. Mainly the anti-damage just helps you beat over the anti-damage backups. Next we play the 2/1 stock troll Buns for Luck. So when you play this, your opponent sends all their cards from the stock to the waiting room and replaces it by putting the cards from the top of their deck into their stock. So if this is really good if you know your opponent's blank to stock, blank to climax ratio in their deck. So if you know if it's a 1 out of every 3 cards, and they have a 9 card deck, and you put back, like, let's say 6 or more cards, you know you're gonna hit at least 2 climaxes. So this is really good if you know the ratios, and it can put your opponent in a really awkward situation and not guarantee, but increase your chances of closing the game out. Next, I play 3 copies of Present for You Himari. This is your secondary out to blanks. So you mainly use her for the alarm ability when she's at the top of your clock. So her effect is when she's at the top of your clock, you may put the top card of your deck to stock, and since you will know what's going to be what the top card of your deck is thanks to the Arisa 00, it's not technically a blind stock, so you're always knowing you always have control of the information with this deck. So this will allow you to sequence your play a lot better. And the goal of this deck is just to build enough stock so you can finish efficiently. And this is what the Himari does. It's also an anti-early play reverser, so you can clock this, and if you have another one in hand, you can just play it out since it fulfills the green requirement, and you can just swing it in and get rid of the level 3 if you feel like it's a threat. And then now for the level 3s, I play 1 copy of the 3/2 Arisa from set 1. I mainly use it for the Bonsai trait, but it does have a useful ability of being a global 1500 booster, and the on-play ability, you can rest a standing character, and your opponent chooses 1 climax from their waiting room, and then they send the rest of their cards from their waiting room to their deck and shuffle it except that climax that they selected. So this is basically a weaker version of the 3/2 Aqua. So I mainly use it for that. I also play 2 copies of the Tanabata pair Sayo. The reason why I do it is because it's an early play, and her requirement is just 4 more other music characters. And when she comes into play, you can draw 2, discard 1. So this is your main deck thinner and hand fixer at the 3 step. You don't have we do have an early play healer, but it's quite pricey. So I couldn't, and it's really hard to find. So I'm mainly playing this as my main early play for now. If we get other early plays, I might switch it out. But right now, this is really good utility wise. It also has the ability when you declare an attack, you can reveal your hand with the 3/2 Yukina, and it gains plus 2k. So it's an 11k beat stick on a swing, so long as you have the Yukina in hand. Next, we play 2 copies of the Magic of Smiles Hagumi. This card is our secondary finisher of the deck. It climax combos yet again with the Magic of Smiles. I'll explain her first effect. When she comes into play, you may draw 1, discard 1, and then select a character on your opponent's board and bounce it. So this allows you to set your Musashi up really nicely. And I'll actually pull her out too. I'm playing 2 copies of the Kokoro Musashi. When she comes into play, she gains the ability when damage canceled by this card. When damage dealt by this card is canceled, you may mill the top card of your deck, burn equal to the level of that card plus 1. Climaxes are counted as 0. So the reason why the Hagumi is your secondary finisher is because of her climax combo. When she reveals a soul trigger, you may burn 3. So how the interaction goes is when you declare your attack and you do your trigger check, since her effect procs off first before your damage from the attack goes through, you burn 3 and then you swing for 4. So this is essentially a swing for 7, and if the burn 3 sticks, you can at least bait the cancel on the swing for 4, which is still not bad. And if you have another character like the Kokoro, you're gonna be trying to bait cancels and try to get precision burns for gain. So that's it for these 4. Lastly, I play 4 copies of the Birdcage Diva Yukina. This is your main finisher of the deck. It climax combos with the Intense Shout Pants trigger. So when she comes into play, you may heal the top card of your clock and send. It also has the ability during your turn. This card gains 500 equal to the number of music characters. So she becomes an 11/5 when she comes into play. And she has a really good ability with the climax combo. When this character reverses an opponent's character, you may pay 3, discard 1, burn 2 times. So that's actually pretty busted. It's kind of like Last Shot Xenon in that aspect, but it's an on-reverse effect. So you really need to use that to make sure that they don't anti-damage this. But when it swings and reverses, it's deadly, because if your opponent's at, let's say, 3-3 or 3-2, and they're close to refresh, and then the burn 2 times stick, they lose immediately upon refresh. So this is really good at closing the game, and she's probably one of the stronger finishers, which is why she's around a $35 to $40 price range. I hope you guys like this deck profile. I'm going to be doing more soon. The next one is probably going to be an update on my Sword Art Online deck, and then after that will be my Fate Apocrypha. But I'm probably going to be showing you guys at least 1 or 2 matches with this deck. So hopefully I get some playtests when I go out to locals later this week. So hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Crack that like button. And stay on point, guys.